Post-colonialism is a very vast subject and a subject which can be approached from very differing perspectives. I really don't know how I'm going to carry out an overview of the subject within the space of one short video. I shall share some ideas about post-colonialism with you, and these are ideas which are important from the examination perspective. Let us start by taking a look at the term post-colonialism. Post means after. After colonialism. Put very simply, post-colonialism is the study of a country which has been colonized after the withdrawal of the colonial power. So post-colonialism studies a country colonized and then decolonized. Colonialism is the practice of one country gaining political control over another country and ruling that country. There is political subjugation of the colonized country by the country which is the colonizer. One of the premises of post-colonialism is that the technical withdrawal of political power is not the end of the story. It is true that the colonized country has now been decolonized. The colonizer has withdrawn from the colony, and technically the colony is free. But though the colonizer has lost political power, he continues to wield economic power, cultural power, linguistic power, and often diplomatic power. How these different forms of power, which continue to be wielded by the former colonizer, play out in the former colony, is an important area which is studied by post-colonialism. Most of the narratives produced about colonization and the period of colonial rule are produced from the perspective of the colonizer. So, one of the things which post-colonialism tries to do is to rewrite those narratives from the point of view of the colonized. For example, Black Skin, White Masks of Frantz Fanon throws light on the process of dehumanization that is integral to colonialism, the violent racism that accompanies the colonial enterprise, the damage to the culture of the colonized caused by colonization, and the demolition of black identity engendered by white supremacy. In his landmark work Orientalism, Edward Said argues that the West-East paradigm is an artificial binary generated by the West, by the colonizer, in order to dominate the East, the colonized. According to Said, the West has robbed the East of its capacity to represent itself, and it is the West which decides how the East should be defined, and naturally, the West defines the East in a manner in which it suits the West. Thus, the East, Asia, Africa, colonized countries, thus, the East is represented as illogical, mysterious, strange, passionate, irrationally passionate, while the West is presented as logical, rational, and cultured. According to Said, the West presents itself as the norm and defines the East in such a manner that it cannot conform to the norm and then demeans and dominates the East. Another important figure in postcolonialism, in fact, one of the founders of postcolonial theory, is Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak, but at one point she dissociated herself, at least partly, from post-colonial theory through her book Critique of Post-Colonial Reason. Homi K. Bhabha made a significant contribution to post-colonial theory by developing such concepts as hybridization or the development of multicultural forms as a result of the colonial encounter, ambivalence, which sees culture by its very nature, by its very definition, as consisting of opposing elements and contradictory dimensions, and mimicry, the process by which the colonized attempt to imitate the culture of the colonizer. Returning to Frantz Fanon, in his masterpiece, The Wretched of the Earth, Fanon defends the use of violence on the part of the colonized against the colonizer, especially because the colonizer does not see the colonized as belonging to the human species. I would like to wrap up the discussion by drawing your attention to the succinct definition of postcolonialism provided by Robert Young, who defines postcolonial studies as the discipline which deals with the various aspects of the colonial enterprise, or the enterprise by which certain European powers came to dominate militarily and politically large parts of the globe, especially large parts of Africa, Asia, and South America, including the Caribbean, and the responses of the peoples of these regions to the colonial project.